And welcome into another episode of the Pain and Panic Podcast. Adam Sheets, Chris Reynolds with you. And Chris, we're trying to figure out, is anyone actually good in the NFL this year? Feels like, it's been a wild year in the National Football League. No one wants to be great this season. It seems to be the theme of 2025.
Yeah, I was saying this a few weeks ago. Like, whatever team, is riding high, whatever guy looks like the MVP candidate, they just lose a terrible game. We saw that, Mahomes was looking good. He loses to Josh. Then Josh lost to the Dolphins. And then Stafford, like, for a solid 2 weeks, held it down. And, I mean, he played fine today. But the Rams, who were the top team to beat, they lose to the Panthers, who we have been unable to tell if they're decent or not all year. I think we could tell maybe they're decent, but they're
Meow
not
mix,
better than
baby.
the Rams.
The Meow Mix. They
That
don't lose.
podcast gets so much attention. It's insane. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, it's just, and like Stafford, he even had a pick six. He had a fumble that cost him the games. They were trying to drive down to steal it at the end when they were in field goal range. Like,
Yeah.
just a weird game. And for the Rams, who seemed like they were like the juggernaut in the NFL, it's kind of like it was them and everyone else, just with the way they've been playing and the struggles the other teams had. And nope, just business as usual. The Colts were that way. They've now lost back to back. Daniel Jones is hurt, so his mobility's kind of gone for. Seems like for the foreseeable.
The Colts are playing easier defenses. Now it's harder defenses. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, I didn't really want to say this when he was flying high, but against a great defense, or against even good defenses, he's not the same guy against the bad teams. Against the bad teams, he's getting 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. Against any good team, he's getting 60 yards and no touchdowns. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. And I think just too, you can see the team going down, whereas these other teams are so just up and down constantly, like the Eagles and the Rams, more like that.
Yeah,
Whereas
the teams that haven't been going down, Patriots, they'll play tonight here on Monday Night Football. The Broncos are playing as we're recording. They haven't gone down, but they've been like, they're a team that when you watch them play, you're like, what's going on? Yeah, they're like,
it's terrible, even though the outcome's fine.
Yeah, like they keep winning, and the Patriots have been that way at times too this year. The Bengals game was kind of really up and down for them, but they found a way to win. So, like, and then the teams like you expect to be good every year, like the Chiefs are 6-6, the Ravens are 6-6, the Eagles have lost back-to-back games. They're sliding. It seems like it's 2 years ago all over again. We just mentioned the Rams just lost a game. The Lions are 7-5. Like, it's just the teams you expected to be good coming into the year are also struggling.
Yeah. Chiefs, Bills, Ravens were like the talk before the season in the AFC. Two of those teams, Ravens and the Chiefs, like, barely are in the playoffs or not in. And the Bills are a wild card team who, that's crazy. And then NFC we talked about. The Eagles look like the Eagles from 2 years ago in the Super Bowl hangover a little bit. And then, yeah, a lot of these teams I think we had questions about. The weird part is it has been so up and down from week to week. And because I feel like they're playing each other a lot. The Lions, too, are another one. They suck me in every week just to let me down the next week. And against the Packers, like, the Lions we feel better about than the Packers, but then the Packers beat them. So it's just, I don't know if teams are bad matchups or if it's just inconsistent this season.
I think it's all inconsistency. I think, the teams we haven't talked about that might be good, like Seattle, like they look really good. Their defense was phenomenal. It was Max Brosmer, so like you maybe take it with a grain of salt.
Sam Darnold was doing nothing like for most of the game.
I know, like they did nothing. I was gonna say, like coming in, like we were talking about Jonathan Taylor. I'm like, today felt like a day that he could lose Offensive Player of the Year, but Jackson Smith and Jigba didn't get the ball today, so it didn't matter.
No, it's the Vikings were like, Sam, not only is this team built to get to the quarterback, and Sam is bad at getting to the quarterback, the Vikings saw it firsthand how bad Sam Darnold is at, handling that pressure. That was bad. And I'm looking across this whole board. I'm like, I honestly don't know if we did a Super Bowl bubble right now. Like we were talking about this, it's either like 2 teams or 16. Like I really don't know where that line is. I mean, like we watch all these shows do like top tens or like tier lists. Or like the pyramids of whatever. I just think it's just one gigantic clump of decent teams and then really bad teams, and I can't differentiate between them right now.
Yeah, the parity's so interesting that like almost every team that's going to be in the playoffs, you have to put as a Super Bowl contender because you just don't know what team's going to show up. Like, like, I mean, like Jacksonville's going to be in there right now. They're the one seed in the AFC South. Like, I'm a Jags fan. I wouldn't say they're a Super Bowl contender in a normal year, but this year, with the way things have gone, like if they just get hot for a 3-week stretch, they could be there. Like, you don't know. Like, even like the Patriots, like you'd have a lot of questions. Like, it's Drake May's first playoffs. What's going to happen? Like, but like it's like they look like the best team in the AFC. The NFC wise, what to do with the Bears? I mean, like they're sitting there, they're the one seed. They're the ones.
That team to me was like, all right, they've had the easiest schedule. They're going to play Eagles in this prime time kind of ish game on Friday, the standalone game in Philadelphia, and the Eagles get AJ Brown incredibly involved, and they lose. And I'm like, I just don't know what to make of that. Maybe the Bears are good right now, Adam. Like, let's think like in our head. We'll go through how many teams could like realistically win the Super Bowl. Okay, I'm gonna list the teams, and then we're gonna see our list. Okay.
Right.
All right. Bills.
Yes.
Dolphins. I would say no.
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 I'll go on a limb and say no. I want to say yes just for the
You
vibe.
say the
So.
Patriots could win with his baby Drake May.
They can. They can.
Okay. That's 2. Jets. Let's say no and be respectful.
Are they? No, they won today, so they're not eliminated yet. But no.
Not yet. Could the Ravens?
Ravens. I'm gonna have to say no.
By the Bengals.
I know. I'm gonna have to say no. They're too inconsistent. That defense isn't there yet. No.
All right. Could the Bengals win the Super Bowl?
I don't think they'll get in, so I'll say no because they almost have to win out. So I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Could the Browns win the Super Bowl or the Steelers? I would say no to both of those.
Should no.
I know you're a big shooter.
No.
All right.
No, neither of those teams can win.
AFC South, Texans.
No.
Listen, their defense is one of the best defenses in recent years. Their offense is atrocious. I hate watching CJ Stroud sometimes in the red zone. It's just disgusting. Colts. Do you think the Colts could actually win it?
I would have said yes last week, but now I'm just a little concerned with the mobility of Daniel Jones because he has the fractured fibula, and his running ability really makes him a lot better than he actually is.
I actually would say yes, but
I think they can. In a year like this year, I have my concerns, but I'll say
should
yes.
we include them in this teams that could potentially actually win the Super Bowl? Or are you saying there's actually no
in a normal year, no, but this year,
season,
yes.
This
year,
that's
yes.
3. Jaguars, you just said no. I would also say no right now.
I mean, in this year they could, but I mean, if I'm being honest, like if they would win the Super Bowl, I would be floored. And I'm a Jags fan.
That would be more surprising than the Colts because the Colts.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I say no to Jags. Yes to Colts.
I would lean no, not this year. Maybe next year if they keep building through it, get healthy. But this year, I would say
no receivers right now either.
No.
All right, Titans. No. Okay. So right now,
they're eliminated. So yeah, they're eliminated.
Bills. Well, I had to list every team.
Yeah. Bills,
Patriots, Colts are 3 right now, and the Colts are like a halfer. Okay.
Yes.
AFC West. We should be able to get some here. Broncos.
Yes, they can. Chiefs. Yes, if they get in, they can.
Okay. It's funny. They're not even in, but we think so. Raiders, definitely not. The Chargers, I really don't think so as currently constructed.
Without Rashawn Slater, no.
Yeah, with no tackles and with no running back who's hurt, and now Herbert broke his hand. So
Justin Herbert in a big game. We haven't seen him be able to do it yet, so
yeah,
I'd have to say
the Raiders today. Congratulations. Yeah. But that's 5 teams now in the AFC. All right, let's go to the NFC. Cowboys. They'd have to make it. Do you think they actually could, or is their defense too bad?
I don't think they could win the Super Bowl. They might win the division. They could sneak up if the Eagles keep sliding, but I'd have to say no.
All right. Giants, no. Commanders, no. Eagles, yes.
Yes, they can. They can. They got to figure a lot out, but they can.
Yeah. Bears.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think Caleb Williams is winning a Super Bowl this year.
I don't think not this year. It's kind of like the Jags. Like they have too many other things that may go wrong. Like their defense, their linebackers are all banged up. Like teams have been able to run all over them. So I'm gonna say no, not this year. Maybe next year with Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams in year 2 in that offense, yes. But right now, I'd have to say no. And that's great. They're 9-3, but no.
We're saying no to the 1 seed, the NFC. Just interesting. Do you think the Lions could win this year?
Oh,
I don't think they're going to make it at this point. Do you think they could?
Not the NFC West is too loaded. They're going to take almost all the wild card spots.
All right,
so especially the Cowboys sneak in.
I'm saying no to the Lions this year. They just lost Amon-Ra for at least 2 weeks. It looks like.
No.
All right. Packers.
Yes, I'd say yes. Their that pass rush, and they've been there, so like they know how to handle it. So yeah.
Honestly, I don't even want to say yes, but I have to this season. Vikings, no. Okay. NFC South. I don't think there's a single team.
But all the Bucks injuries, no, they can't do it. And we could argue the Panthers. They just beat a team we're going to say yes to in the next section. So do we say yes to the Panthers?
If Bryce won the Super Bowl, that'd be crazy.
Think about this. We've said yes. We've said yes to the Packers. We're going to say yes to the Rams. The Panthers beat both of them.
All right, NFC. So we have right now in the NFC, we just have Eagles and Packers. That's 2.
Yeah.
NFC West, Cardinals, no.
No.
We have Rams, Niners, Seahawks. I would say yes to at least the Rams and the Seahawks. The Niners, I'd want to say yes, but I don't think so until Brock looks.
I'm going to say yes to all 3 of them.
You say yes to all 3? All
right. The Niners have their bye here, so they could get healthy. And, I mean, if they get into the playoffs, again, they're a team that's performed well in the playoffs, so they know how to do it, which you'd have the experience.
They don't really have a defense.
That's the problem. There's a lot of holes, but the one thing in that NFC, like, you got to think, where the Rams are there, they beat the Rams with Mac Jones at quarterback, and, like, there's nobody playing.
Rams.
They did also lose to the Rams, that is true. They beat Seattle, so they have to win against Seattle.
They destroyed the Panthers last week. Like, the Panthers' offense did nothing, and then this week against the Rams, who I would say have a better defense than the Niners, who are missing, like, their 3 best players on defense, they light up the Rams.
Yep.
That just doesn't make any sense. Football's weird.
Yeah, I'd say yes to all 3 of them. The Niners, I'd have concerns. I have concerns with the Seahawks too, because we saw Sam Darnold in a playoff game last year. But I would say yes to all of them in that NFC, where maybe they get opportunities to steal it. You got to think the Niners are a half game back in the division right now, going into their bye. Like, they could get some help. So, yeah, I'd say yes to all 3 NFC West teams that they can. Not saying they will, but they can.
So that's 5 in each conference. That's 10 total.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound crazy, but I don't know.
But think last year. Last year, the teams we thought that could actually win the Super Bowl at this time would be the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Bills,
Lions,
the Ravens, and the Lions. Is that it? At this point last year, are those the 5 teams that we would have thought actually had a chance of winning it? Is there anyone else?
No to the Texans, no to the Broncos, no to the Chargers.
The Vikings. I guess Vikings at this point last year, maybe people would have talked themselves into.
Well, I don't think the Rams had enough hype last year.
They got hot late, but through the season they were not.
I don't know. I wish we just had like a little time capsule to remember. But like, even the Commanders made the NFC Championship. They had the
Steelers started like 7-3.
Yeah, that was never happening.
So like there were 6 teams last year, and there's usually at this point you have and then like there's the teams you say they can, but like I would be surprised if like this team didn't. Like last year, it's like, well, like, the Rams can, but I'd be surprised if it's not the Lions or the Eagles out of the NFC. Like this year, it's like we're saying 5 teams can, but if the Lions would somehow figure it out here to finish the year, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, how'd the Lions win the Super Bowl? Like, there's a lot of teams that are also sitting there that we said can't, that be like, oh, like things start going right here in these last few weeks, they're right there. So
I think there's a lot of situations where I'm like, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but if they do, they could win. Like the Chiefs.
Chiefs get in, absolutely.
Honestly, if the Bengals made it,
well, that'd be them winning 6 straight games. So yeah, like they would definitely be a threat. They're 4-8, so they have to get to 9-8 to even have a chance.
They are 4-8. But they're only 2 games behind the Ravens.
I know, but they have to, like, if they have to get to 9-8, like, because just how if they could win the division maybe at 8-9, but like that's still going 5-1 in your last 6 games, because that's including the win they just got, so 4-1 in their last 5. But
they have another game against Baltimore. If they win that one, then that pretty much, and they have Buffalo, which is a tough one. I'll admit it.
That's their next one,
Easy against Miami, Arizona, Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they go 4-1,
they have a chance.
That gets them to 8-9. In Baltimore, let's see their schedule. Baltimore is Pittsburgh. That, honestly, I would probably say Ravens. In this situation, let's say they lose to Cincy again. Patriots, I'd say Patriots. Packers and Steelers again. So let's say they split against the Steelers in that division. They would go 1, and I think, what was that, only 1 win? Just 1 against the Steelers. They'd lose against Bengals, Patriots, Packers. I could see that.
Would be shocking.
Maybe they get 2 wins in there, but if they get 2 wins and the Steelers and the Bengals get 2 wins,
Bengals have a tiebreaker, yeah.
Bengals would have the tiebreaker. So I think the Bengals could actually get in with 8
Well,
wins.
now, if the Bengals are going to do it, they would also be the biggest fan of the AFC South because you'd want one of those teams to be the 5 seed because you can beat one of those teams. Like if Jacksonville's the 5 seed coming in there, you can beat Jacksonville in January at home. Like that's possible. Like you don't want it to be like you're the 5 seed and here comes Buffalo in the first round. Like that would be
And the other team you have to mention the Steelers, who are also 6-6.
They're
Ravens,
done.
and then
The Steelers are done.
They do have to play Detroit and Cleveland, but if they could beat Baltimore in one of the two, they only have to win one more between Miami, Detroit, or Cleveland to get to 8 wins.
I don't think the Steelers are winning another game. Did you see them today? They looked deflated. Their fans were booing Renegade. That's like the one thing they have.
They're home against Miami. I think they could win that one.
Well, yeah, I guess Tua in sub 45
And
degrees.
Do you think Cleveland's actually better than them?
Better than them? I mean, I think Cleveland could beat them. I wouldn't say Cleveland's better than them.
I don't know. This division, I think the Bengals have the easiest schedule.
But did you see what the Bills did to the Steelers defense today? They ran for like 250 yards.
They're just running the same play.
And Quinshon Judkins is just going to run it.
True. I also think Myles Garrett would kill Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers should not play that.
Yeah, and that's also my fear with like them splitting. I'm like right now the Steelers could figure things out, but right now I don't see how the Steelers stop Derrick Henry next week. Like I think they're just going to run it down their throats.
Like it used to be. I'm not afraid of the Ravens like it used to be. Lamar is yet to really have a good week. Honestly, I know we talked about it. I think he's hurt, and I think it's looked wrong for a while. We had this whole discussion last week, but I'm telling you, it doesn't look the same. Also, sorry.
No.
It's so congested in my nose. I keep choking over here. Don't mind me. Just the lovely winter mix is coming in. It's gonna snow on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. But we got 4 to 6 inches coming up here this week, down here in old Pennsylvania. But not like it's just the Steelers. A lot of it for me with Pittsburgh also. It's not just the talent, it's the vibes. The vibes are off. Like, do they even want to get to 9-8? Because that means something to Mike Tomlin. But does that locker room
I think they could go 9-8. Honestly, I'm not a Steelers.
But that potentially could be a division win.
I think 9 wins you this division. 8 might tie it. The Steelers, I mean,
do they want to have to play a playoff game this year?
Before the Bills, they lost a really close one to the Bears. They destroyed the Bengals. Like, they beat the Colts one week. Like, they've had some good wins. They destroyed Cleveland the first time they played them.
Yeah. Yeah, they have good wins.
They beat the Patriots, too. Like,
they beat the Patriots when Drake May and them had 5 turnovers,
Yeah. They forced the turnovers. I mean, if you won against Baltimore, I think you could beat Miami. I would probably say they lose to the Lions, but if you could win in Cleveland, that's 3 wins.
Yeah, it's possible. Man, like, I'd be nice to talk to Pittsburgh fans, be like, do you want to get to 9-8 and make the playoffs? Because if you do, that means you're just running this back again next year. It feels like Steelers fans are done. Like, it's like...
This season, I would take getting to the playoffs because really anything could happen. Or in other years, I'd be like, I'd rather be bad, get a better pick than lose to the Chiefs. But this year,
there's also the thing where Steelers fans, like I've talked to them, they're like, we're not even excited to watch our team play. Like we know how it goes. And Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2017. Oh, 2016. Obama was president, Chris. That's the last time Mike Tomlin won a playoff game.
They're usually the worst team to make it into the playoffs each year.
That's not always true. Like 2017, Jacksonville marched in there. They had the bye, and Jacksonville beat them with Le'Veon Bell. That was the Killer Bees. They've had other years where they were good. They had the year Baker Mayfield marched in and beat them. Like they've had years where I'm not saying make a Super Bowl run, but win a playoff game, boys. Like that's what we're asking.
We'll see. I'm looking at this right now. I'm trying to think of like teams that can make the playoffs. Patriots and Bills. If the Patriots lose tomorrow, the Bills might be able to, but the Patriots do have a very easy schedule. Let's see, they got the Bills
next week. They play again. Yeah, Buffalo.
If the
play again.
Patriots choke to the Giants prime time, lose to the Bills, then they have to play Baltimore, the Jets, and Miami. They're just not going to lose to either of those teams.
If they could lose, but the only reason they lose to Miami would be if they've already clinched the 1 seed. Like if they've clinched the 1 seed, they probably don't play anybody.
I don't know. If they lose against Buffalo, I think they're gonna split that. I don't know. I'm looking at.
when we get to it, when we do our episode going into Wild Card Weekend, I think we'll sit here and say any of these teams can win it, and also any of these teams can go one and done. There's not a team like you're penciling in probably to go to the Super Bowl. Like just move this team through.
It was kind of like our weekly picks this week, Adam. We both basically picked mostly favorites.
Yeah.
And naturally, we started with like 4 straight upsets.
We did. Yep. I told you that was going to happen. I told you.
Yeah. But right now, if the Broncos win, we would have tied in our picking like when we did the draft.
When we did the draft, yeah.
But if the Patriots win tomorrow and the Broncos win tonight, I would win.
There you go. If you want to know actual game picks, I beat you by 2 because you had 2 games that did not go your way.
Well, in my defense, I picked the Bucks, and then I said, well, Baker's not playing. I thought there was no way this man was going to play. Injured shoulder. Bucky Irving has been hurt for weeks and weeks with mystery, like 2 injuries. And right before the game, they're like, yeah, Baker knew he was going to play. Bucky Irving's back. I'm like, oh, well, that was a bad pick. And I had the Cowboys as my upset pick, changed it to the Cardinals because I thought Teddy Bridgewater favored. I had to pick against that. And then, of course, it was Baker. But
yep, the Bake Show. And then you also had the Colts, and I had the Texans. So I wrote my Texans. So.
Listen, the Colts had 2 chances to win, but in the Texans actually allowed. How many points the Texans allowed today? We talked
16.
About
16. Which
Adam,
is right on their average. So.
They don't allow more than 20 points. It's happened twice all season. Once was to the Rams, who are a very good offense. The other was to the Jaguars, who
lost the game.
But to be fair, it wasn't the defense that allowed it. When Davis Mills throws the Jaguars a pick 6, that's not on the defense.
Yeah. So, and then they had a punt return touchdown that game.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, really, if the Texans score more than 20 in a game, they're gonna win. That's what I was saying the whole time. I actually watched that game standalone because it was that or Falcons Jets. I said, give me.
I watched the Jags Titans game, which was very boring. It was just get to the end. There were fights, which made it fun. They were fighting each other, but
that was a boring game. I was trying to keep up with that because I had the Jags defense.
Well, I was going in, and the Jags punted on their first drive. Titans go right down, end up settling for a field goal. I was going into this week thinking the Jags are totally good. Like, normal Jags would just lose this game. Like, this would be the one Titans get. Like, Cam Ward looks good, and I'm not going that way. The Jags just dominated the game from there on out. But I would not have been floored if the Jags lost. It's just a classic Jags loss. What would have been? But
I think I would have been because they knew that the Colts could realistically lose today.
Yeah, and now Jags Colts next week, big game.
Listen, Adam, I'm really coming around on the Texans here. I'm still a Colts guy.
I tried to get you around on the Texans.
Listen, I like the Texans. My issue is I don't know who the quarterback was going to be, and even if I did know, I don't know if it'd make a difference because they're both.
Davis Mills is 3-0.
Honestly, CJ Stroud today. So the Colts go for it 4th down. They don't get it, and then CJ Stroud, or I think the Colts miss it. I think they went for it and didn't get it. Next play, CJ Stroud throws a pick.
Yep.
That was just terrible. Goes deep. Overthrows a guy. I don't know what he's doing out there.
Yeah, he had a bad pick. Overall, he played decent, but he had a bad pick.
He heated up in the second half, but in the first half especially, it was just so ugly to watch. And I think, the Colts lost Sauce Gardner today with a calf strain, it looks like, so we'll see how that goes. But
that's a bad day for that trade. Sauce got hurt, and A.D. Mitchell had 100 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but bad day for that trade.
Yeah, but, the Texans defense, I mean, I would take the Texans defense as the best unit in football right now over any team's offense or any team's defense. Mm-hmm. I think they're the only thing you could argue, I'd say, because I think they're clearly the best defense this season. The only thing you could argue is maybe the Rams' offense right now, the way it's going. I think when they're in the red zone, it's a touchdown to Davante Adams almost every time.
Yep. 6 straight games with a touchdown for Davante. Matthew Stafford broke the record.
He's throwing like 2 or 3 to Davante. Like, it's ridiculous.
Matthew Stafford set the record for most touchdowns without an interception, like a run, broke Tom Brady's record, then immediately threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah. Pick 6, and I said, well, at least he got the record, but that pick 6 was bad. Yeah. And then he had the fumble. I think really I don't want to say Stafford blew the game because he did, have really good moments, but he did have very bad mistakes. The
Panthers' defense, outside of that Bills game, has been really good, especially against the pass. Especially against the pass.
They have been a better pass defense. I think they're actually a decent team. It's just hard to look at them as how bad they've been the last few years.
Bryce Young is a solid quarterback. Maybe is getting rid of the complete bust. He's okay.
When he runs, he actually looks like he could do something.
Yeah, yeah. He's okay. He's not a good quarterback. He's okay. I mean, he's all right.
He's also just extremely inconsistent too.
Yeah, he's Bryce Young. But like going into this year, everyone's like, "Man, who's the next quarterback of the Panthers?" Now it's like, Bryce is okay. Bryce.
We'll see.
Yeah.
No, I think now that CJ Stroud, Bryce Young looked terrible at first, but now you're like, is there that big of a difference between them?
Well, yeah. Well, there
there-
still is. Well, Bryce Young still hasn't had a year like CJ's rookie year, so.
Okay, but CJ's rookie year looks like the outlier now in CJ's.
Well, yeah, but now you also are going to look at it, and is there a world where we're going to look at CJ Stroud like, man, is he that good? But then we might look back at it if the team continues to do what they're doing, and it's going to be every year of CJ Stroud's career, he's made the playoffs and had a playoff win. He won a playoff game last year, too.
Who did they beat? The Chargers.
The Chargers, yeah. So even last year when he played really bad, like it looked like he had his sophomore slump. Like they found a way to get to the playoffs.
Davis Mills is proving that like CJ's job is not that hard this year, at least.
Yeah, but if he wins a
CJ's
playoff
rookie
game,
year was someone different. That was
that'd be a nice stat to look at. How many quarterbacks have won a playoff game in their first 3 years of their career? Like kind of like because first you need rookie starters that make the playoffs, which would be a big tough thing to find. Like even Mahomes didn't play his rookie year, so like he would be out. Josh, they lost to Houston actually in his first ever playoff game, so he didn't get one. Yeah, so like there aren't many that. What?
Sean Watson might have had one.
Yeah, I don't think he won 3 straight though.
Oh right,
yeah, 3 straight years. Yeah,
oh,
it'd be hard to find.
He's gonna have a win in the playoffs this year.
You don't think so? You don't think if they make the playoffs they can't win a game?
They're gonna make the playoffs.
You just said you're coming around on them.
Make the playoffs so I'm coming around on them.
They're
but
1 game back in the division.
They're 1 game back on 2 different teams that are like. I like the Colts more than them still. This one was just a tough game, and they really did. The Colts.
Plus, right now, if the season ended today,
the Colts got messed up a few times. One, they missed a field goal.
Yes.
Or they should have kicked the field goal. They didn't. But then they missed the extra point. So, like, that's things that the Colts decided. But when you look back at the game that was close, it would have made the difference. Also, Jonathan Taylor gets a face mask. Rip him down by his helmet. They don't call the face mask. They end up not scoring. And then, also on that play, there was like a penalty that they missed. And then the Texans did something they didn't call it. And then the Texans made an extra point. And I'm a solid 90% sure it did not go through the uprights.
Yeah.
They couldn't like over the post.
Yeah. They also, why don't we have the angle of it, like the side yet?
Can we just put one camera on like the yellow pole, just looking straight up and we can see pretty clearly? It shouldn't be that difficult. We have a camera in every single object. And we're like, no, can't get one there. It's like,
but hey,
valuable one.
Let's go through this now, since we want to do it. They play the Chiefs next week. I would probably say the Texans. I would probably say the Chiefs are going to win that game. It's in Arrowhead. I'd take Kansas City. Then they play the Cardinals.
Give me the Texans.
Then they play the Raiders.
Give me the Texans. Oh my God, Geno Smith might die.
Yes. Then they play the Chargers. Interesting one. With that defense and that pressure they can get on the quarterback, could be a matchup nightmare. Now, it is December 27th, so maybe the Chargers are getting healthy.
The Texans' defensive line is, their offensive line might be just as bad the opposite way.
Hey, 10-7, Texans win. Plus, what they did to Justin Herbert last year in the playoffs.
I could see them winning it, so that's 2 wins.
And then they finish with the Colts at home. So it's possible. Like they could go 4-1 over these next 5. If they go 4-1 the next 5, they get to 11-6.
I could just as well see
11. Oh yeah, well yeah, it's the Texans. Plus injuries happen, so like we can't just look ahead and not think no one's going to get hurt.
Just the fact their offense is so bad, it almost loses them every game.
Yeah, true. But they could also win some.
Whoever the Texans play, it's a race to 20. Whichever team gets to 20 wins.
Yeah. Well, the Jags got to 29 and lost. So
that was a Davis Mills game where he gave.
Dang right, Davis Mills 36. Well, 30. I'm not giving him the scoop and score on the last play of the game.
But I'm saying when you look at the Texans, that defense is so good. If you're like, not allowing 20 points a game besides once as a defense, that's great.
Yeah. So there's the question: are the Cardinals going to score 20 against them? Are the Chiefs going to score 20 against them? That's a great question.
I think with Rashee Rice, they might. Rashee Rice is looking really
I would think so, too. Like I'm picking the Chiefs to win that game once we get
Also,
there. But
here's the other thing that's concerning about the Chiefs, at least. Every week we're like, all right, must win for the Chiefs. They kind of have to win out here, and then they've lost a bunch of those games where we're expecting them to like, all right, Chiefs, enough, whatever, wake up, and then they like don't, and then we say, all right, next week we say the same thing, and they're kind of running out of time.
yes,
And I know last week they beat the Colts barely, but this week they literally lost to the Cowboys, and their defense. I mean, the Cowboys are playing good, but
and also at home, Cowboys at home are a different animal.
so
They played every game at AT&T Stadium. They might never lose again.
that son, man, crazy.
Yeah.
Chiefs lost to the Chargers week 1. Week 2 lost to the Eagles. All right, so now you're 0-2, but those are good teams. Giants they win, Ravens they win. They're 2-2. But here you're like, all right, you're 2-2, kind of have to step it up. They lost to the Jags.
That loss looks better now. We'll give them
It
that.
looks
It does
better
look
now. At
better.
the time, it was like, oh, now you're 2-3. You're under 500.
Hey, the
What
Jags
is-
got to 4-1 with that win.
Beat the Lions,
Yep.
destroyed the Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
beat the Commanders, and now we're like, all right, 5-3. They beat these, Raiders and Commanders are bad teams. Buffalo, they lose to Denver. Now they're 5-5 again. Now it's like, all right, wake up again, and now they'll beat the Colts and they go back down to 500 against the Cowboys. It's just-
So you ready to do their scheduled test here? They play the Texans. We both said we'll
that's
take
not a
Kansas
gimme.
City.
That is no gimme.
We'll take Kansas City at home. Just
Yes.
lean. We'll take Kansas City at home. They play the Chargers at home.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. They play the Titans.
Kansas City.
Then they play the Chiefs. No, they play the Broncos. My bad. Broncos in Arrowhead, because I was looking at the bottom. In Arrowhead.
I'm
Thursday
walking-
night game. Christmas.
Ooh, I can't give them Texans, Chargers, and Broncos. So just for the sake of it, I'm going to give it to the Broncos. Just
One
so
thing they could have, which might help, if the Chiefs beat the Chargers, mathematically, I think it's possible that the Broncos would have clinched the division. And maybe if they are, I don't know, if they probably wouldn't be out of the 1 seed, though, so they probably still play that game. But yeah, but there's a possibility there maybe the Broncos could potentially rest some people. And then they finish with the Raiders in Vegas.
I think if they needed to play that game, they'd play it and win.
Yes. So like they could get, let's say, if
Well,
we're giving
well,
them
they
if we're giving
could-
them 4-1, if we're giving them 4-1, that's 10-7. That gets them in the playoffs probably. But
I think 10 wins gets you to the playoffs this year.
yeah, they'll
'cause-
be a wild card team. But
yeah, I don't know what other teams.
right now, all the wild card teams are 8-4, so it actually might be a little tougher than we think. Don't know, maybe matchups would change things there, but like Jacksonville's right now but like the Colts are 8-4, Chargers 8-4, Bills 8-4.
So yeah, Bills I think are going to get to at least. I would
Probably
say
11. I'd
That's-
give them probably. I think it went 3-2 in the last 5. I think is realistic for Buffalo. I haven't looked at the schedule. I'm not looking
I'll
at
look at
it.
the
But,
schedule right now. Let's do that too.
yeah.
Bengals. I would say they beat the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots. Let's say they lose to the Patriots.
We'll give them the loss for the sake of the argument. Yeah.
I'd say they beat the Browns the next week.
Yeah.
Lose to the Eagles.
It's in Buffalo. If the
I-
Eagles collapse,
Let's say they lose to the Eagles. They would still beat the Jets week 18. So that's
so
still
they get to 3-2. So 3-2 more likely than not. And like even like you flip, maybe they lose to the Bengals but beat the Eagles, so maybe beat the Patriots. Like yeah, so they could probably get to 11.
3. That's going to be 11 wins. So them and the Patriots locked away. Let's skip the AFC North for now. AFC South. Colts, Jags, Texans. Let's say the Colts and the Jags. Let's say they both get to 10 wins.
Yeah, but the Jags get the Titans at least once. I know that for a fact. Don't have the Jags schedule memorized off the top of my head. I apologize.
Well,
I know.
So the
But here we
Colts
go. I got it. They get the Colts next, then the Jets, at Broncos, at Colts, Titans. So you think, let's say, give them the Titans and the Jets. So there you
that's
go.
yeah, but let's say that's probably 2 or maybe 3 wins.
That's
the
what I'm
Colts
thinking.
have a tough one. The Colts have Jaguars.
They have Jags
Seattle.
twice.
Yep,
Jags
Jags
twice,
twice,
Seattle.
Seahawks, Niners, and Texans again.
Yes, that's a tough stretch for the
There's
Colts.
no single gimme win in there.
They will split with
I'd say
Jacksonville.
they split with the Jags
At
as well.
least. At least.
You just have to either beat the Seahawks, which is going to be tough, or I think they could beat San Fran at home.
I think so too. I think they could pull that one out. So but I think they could get to 10. And like we said, we think the Texans could get to 10. So like there's 3 teams at 10 there. Not gonna say they all get there. Like one of them's bound to have an injury and fall off. Like, it's just the NFL. Like, it's December. Like, some of these teams haven't been here before where they need to win games in December. The Jags famously, now Trevor got hurt in that Monday night game, but they were famously 8-3 in the 1 seed a couple years ago and finished 9-8 and missed the playoffs. So, like, it's possible the Jags do that again. I'm not going to write that off. As a Jags fan, I hope it never happens again, but I won't write it off.
Well, let's look at the Chargers now. Chargers, they have the Eagles next week. Let's say Eagles. They have the Chiefs after that. Let's say Chiefs.
Yep.
They have the Cowboys in Dallas.
Up, loss. Had in Dallas.
Home, but versus the Texans.
Let's give them a win for the sake of the argument.
All right, and then they're at Denver week 18, but Denver might have already
Denver
locked.
would probably, they're going to lock up the division at least, so I think they'd probably sit. So they could probably get 2, even like maybe sneaking the Cowboys game in there.
I'm not giving them 3. I'll maybe give you
I won't give them 3. I'd give them 2.
If the Chargers could squeak out 2 more, they get to 10.
So far, that's the toughest end of season stretch we've had.
Yeah. So, but if that's the case with all those teams, we'd say the Bills get to 11. So that's one of the 3 wildcard spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we'd have either the Jags or the Colts getting another playoff spot.
AFC South gets 2. So we'll just say the AFC East gets 2, the AFC South gets 2. Fair for argument. So like the division winner and then either Jacksonville or Indianapolis.
Yes.
So like we'll say they get 2. So then the Bills, Patriots, so that's 2. AFC North champ, we'll pick one of them. They're not getting multiple teams in the AFC
I don't
North.
think the Steelers or the Ravens get 4 more wins. I don't think the Bengals get.
So they'll get the division. They'll get the division.
Yes.
So we're at 5. So we have 2 spots left, and the teams we'd have would be the Texans, the Chiefs. Who else do we have?
Did we count the Broncos yet? Did we count the AFC West?
Oh, we did. So the Broncos are in. So there's only 1 spot left. And we didn't count the Chargers, Chiefs, or Texans yet. So 1 spot for those 3 teams.
All right, let's look at the Chiefs' schedule. I think the Chargers.
Well, we did the Chiefs' schedule already.
How many did we give them?
I think we gave them 3 at least, maybe 4. I think we gave them 4. No, we gave them 4 because we had them getting to 10. We had them getting to 10.
Chargers, Titans, and Raiders. That's at least 2.
Yes, we had them 4-1. We had them losing to the Broncos on Christmas.
Because I think that even if the Broncos locked up the division week 17, they're still going to want to beat the Patriots or to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
knock them out.
Plus, they have that's a long rest. If their last game would be like the 21st of December, it'd be a long rest.
They kind of have to win next week, Adam. Every game from here on out for the Chiefs is basically a must-win.
Yeah, I think they can get to 10-7, and then you get into tiebreakers, which would be crazy because like it's a 3-way. Let's say it's a 3-way tie between Houston, LA, and Kansas City. I don't know the tiebreaker between those 3 teams. Like Kansas City and LA would split in this scenario. The Kansas City would beat Houston. I think we have Houston beating LA, so like it'd be a weird way that would break out. So I don't know.
Well, it looks like, honestly, I would say it's between the Chargers and the Chiefs for that last spot because...
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Because the Chargers do have this lead on them, and I think the Chargers can still be any bad team, but the Chargers, I don't think, could be any good team without the offensive line. Herbert's going to be hurt, and Martin Hampton's still hurt, trying to come back. So, we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Do we want to do this exercise for the NFC?
Well, we might as well. I was gonna say, I feel like the NFC's getting left out here.
Yeah, honestly, I think the AFC is really interesting. Right,
and the NFC wild card, it's a lot less teams are gonna get in because there's 3 9-win teams in the NFC West, and then the Packers are right now would be a wild card team at 8-3-1.
So yes, so the Eagles are atop of the NFC East at 8-4. Let's see what their schedule is.
They get LA this week. We've talked about
Chargers. Let's say the Eagles win that.
That's a win. Look, I mean, I would love to say for the argument that they lose that game because they're struggling, but let's say if we don't think the Eagles are going to completely nosedive, they win.
If they want to mega brain this and really be smart, let the Chargers win because they can knock out Kansas City. And the
Eagles got to worry about themselves getting there before they can worry
the rest of their schedule, okay?
Yeah.
Raiders, week 15. That's a win and a half, okay?
If this is the year 2 years ago, they lost that bad game to the Cardinals at home 2 years ago. But let's say, again, they're not going to completely nosedive. They are going to figure it out, so they'll win.
So they have Raiders. They have Commanders.
That's a win because the Commanders are going to have a packed in.
Jaden might come back. I don't think he should. There's no reason for that.
Well, let's say they lose to Denver today, they're 3-9. They're out. So
Yeah.
like, there's no reason to fight back.
So they would have the Commanders week 16, week 17 Buffalo. So they could lose that.
Mhm.
But
They have
then
3 guaranteed wins. They have 3
week
guaranteed
18
wins,
Commanders. So
They
that's
have 3
at least
wins.
3. That's 11 wins.
and that eliminates, unless the Cowboys would win out, would eliminate the Cowboys from the division.
Yes, because I don't think the Cowboys are going to win out. That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah, because if they win out, they get to 11-5-1, and they would have the tiebreaker because of the losses. Because they have 5 losses versus 6 losses. The tie would actually be the difference.
Stop it, Cyber Monday deals. All right, so Cowboys 6-5-1. Their rest of their schedule at Detroit. I don't know.
Is Detroit losing 3 straight? Like, can we? And plus, it's in Detroit. Like, is Detroit losing 3 straight games?
They don't have Amon-Ra. What the Lions want to do is run the ball, and the Dallas Cowboys made it their whole personality to try to stop the run.
Yes, that is their personality for sure. I don't know. I mean, last year the Lions obliterated the Cowboys because it was a revenge game from the Monday night game 2 years ago that the Cowboys won on that, where they didn't report the lineman as eligible situation. Frank Ragnow's not allowed to play. Sad to see he failed his physical. So Frank Ragnow was going to come out of retirement and help them at the offensive line. I just can't wrap my head around the Lions losing 3 straight, especially at home against Dallas.
The Lions win. All right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a Thursday. Both these teams they're both playing on Thursday, but they've both played last Thursday, so they actually get a full week, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's give them the loss because I think they might win out after that.
All right, so let's say the Cowboys lose to the Lions. So then we have Minnesota. I would say that's a win.
JJ, no, the Vikings aren't going to win that game.
Home against the Chargers. Let's say the Cowboys win.
At home, Cowboys.
They're at Washington. I would still say Cowboys.
On Christmas, but if we're saying the Commanders going to pack it in for the Eagles, we have to do the same for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So.
And then at Giants, week 18.
Feels like a game the Giants would try because they have a bunch of young players, but I'd still take the Cowboys. In a must-win game, the Cowboys would find a way to lose that game, but nah, I'll take the Cowboys.
So we get
four
straight wins.
Gets them to 10-6-1. That tie could become big. That tie.
That's what I'm saying. So 4 wins would be 10-6-1, like you said. All right.
Yes.
That's just tough, though, predicting 4 straight wins. That's difficult, even if you play...
Especially a lot of two division games in there on the road.
But maybe 9-6-1, and if any team goes 10-7, that would beat them. But if any team goes 9...
The issue is the fact that 10-7 might not get in the NFC.
Well, if 10-7 doesn't get you in, the Cowboys would get in over any 9-8 team with the tie.
But I'm talking about 10-7 might be out because, like, you gotta realize the Seahawks are 9-4, the Niners are 9-4.
It's not good enough. All right.
Yeah, and the Packers are 8-3-1. So, like getting to 10 might not be the goal. You might have to get to 11.
All right. So what do we say the Cowboys get to? 10-6-1.
We had them at 10-6-1. Yes.
Right. Now, NFC North, Bears are going to get to at least 11 wins. Just put that away.
Right.
They're playing Cleveland, and I think they could win 1 between Packers twice, San Fran, and Detroit.
Yes, I would think they could win one of those games.
Even if they don't, they're going to have 10 wins, and I think that will probably be good enough,
Yep, I would give them the Browns game, and that's a tough finish.
It is.
Let's say maybe the Lions are out, because we're saying maybe they don't get to 10, so maybe the Lions are out.
Well, let's look at the Lions. The Lions are going to have...
The NFC North is always going to have the tough finish.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so the Lions have versus Dallas. We gave the Lions the win there, but that could easily go the opposite way.
Yep.
They're at the Rams. Once again, without Amon-Ra, I would take the Rams there.
Yep, Matt Stafford revenge game a little bit too. They beat him in the playoffs, so.
Yes. However, they're playing at home versus Steelers. Give the Lions the win.
Yes.
They're playing at Minnesota. I would still give the Lions the win.
So that gets them to 10-6 going to Chicago.
Or no, they only have 2 wins. Oh yeah, if we give them the Dallas win, yes.
Yeah, if you give them the Dallas win, so they'd be 10-6 going to Chicago, which would be that'd be a must-win game for both teams potentially. So. All
right, so we'd say the Lions get to 10. Let's look at Packers. I think if the Bears just be the Packers in one of those games, they're fine.
Yeah. Let's give them the split for the sake of argument. How about that?
Okay. So Packers have Chicago twice and the Broncos. Let's say they win 1 against Chicago. They lose to Denver, lose the other Chicago game.
Yep.
Then they're home versus Baltimore, and then at Minnesota. So I think they win at Minnesota.
I think 3-2 is realistic and maybe even low. So that gets them to 11-5-1.
Okay.
And that tie again becomes big for tiebreaker scenarios.
Yes. All right. This feels like a battle.
The NFC West is where it gets really fun because there's 3 9-win teams.
Let's just try to see in the South who we can eliminate.
Well, let's just say the South gets 1. They get either the Panthers or the Bucks. They're not both getting in.
Let's look at New Orleans. That might be a Panthers win. Then home versus Tampa, and then a win against Tampa week 18. So let's say they split against Tampa.
Let's just do this. Let's just make it easy. 2 teams from the NFC North aren't getting in. I mean, the NFC South. So whoever wins the division, either Tampa or Carolina, one of the two.
Do you think either one of them, or do you think they could both get in?
No. The NFC West is only allowing 1 wild card spot. The NFC West is 3 9-win teams.
Hold it.
The NFC West.
Saints, Tampa twice, Seahawks. All right, they're only getting to 9 wins. All right.
Bucks got the Falcons and Dolphins outside of the 2 Panthers games.
Yeah, that looks like the Bucks kind of locked that up. All right.
Yeah. But like let's say the Bucks struggle with the Falcons. So maybe the Falcons upset them. And then so like there's a chance. But whoever one of those teams has to get in. So one of them gets in. But 2 of them are not getting in. So there you go.
All right. Rams. Going to the NFC West now. They got Cardinals. Let's give that to the Rams.
Yes.
Versus Detroit, we're giving that to the Rams. Seahawks in Seattle. Let's say the Seahawks split the series. So let's give that to the Seahawks.
Yeah, so it was 21-19 in LA, so we'll let them split.
Because they're going to have 2 easy games at Atlanta, at Arizona.
For the sake of argument, Rams go 4-1. Let's make it easy. We don't need to break down the Falcons and Cardinals games for the second time. Yes, so 4-1.
4-1.
So that gets them to 13-4.
Yes.
That's potentially the 1 seed. So
that's probably the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Seahawks, we're going to say that they split against the Rams.
So they get that win.
Yep. They beat the Falcons.
Yep, so they're at 10. Colts at home. I think we gave the Seahawks this one. I believe when we did the Colts, we gave the Seahawks the win.
Well, I would just say they're going to beat Carolina. So that
is true. That is a good point, Chris.
So I would say
gets them to 11.
That gets them to 11 anyways. That doesn't matter. So they're going to be at least 11.
Now does San Francisco get to 11? They need 2 wins. Can we find them? Titans, they're to 10.
Yeah.
And then a tough finish. Colts, Bears, Seahawks after that. So they're the team that could fall off. But I feel like 1 and 2 in the last 3 is possible for them. Especially the one thing is how do the Bears? We didn't really talk about this when we went, but how do the Bears handle like the pressure of being up there, especially with the Packers chase?
All right. Well, I think this is where it kind of bends between. So let's just say they're at 9. All right. So we'd say maybe 9, or maybe 10, maybe 11.
Well, the Niners get to 10. They're getting to 10 because they're beating the Titans.
So let's say if the Niners get to 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Seahawks get to at least 11. Rams get to at least 11. So that leaves 1 playoff spot left.
There's only 1 left. I think that's what's going to end up being 2. Yep.
We had the Cowboys at best case scenario having 10 wins in the tie. So that wouldn't make it in. Or that might. So they're at 10. We had the Packers. Do we have the Packers at 10 or 11?
I think we had the Packers at 11. 11, 5-1.
That would be the wild card team then.
Yeah, well, like it's either the Packers or the Bears. It's one of those 2 pretty much is what we're going to end up with.
Or if the Lions could get hot.
Yeah, like it feels like the other NFC North team. Like, so it feels like for the Cowboys, you got to win the division.
Well, actually, so hold on. With the Cowboys tie, if the Cowboys get to 10 wins, it doesn't matter if the Lions get to 10 because the Cowboys are better.
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever.
So, but if the Packers get to 11, it does.
Actually,
let's have an interesting. What's the tiebreaker between the Packers and Cowboys? Because they tied. That's a fun one to look at.
I don't think the Cowboys would win more games than the Packers.
No, I think the Packers Bears, one of those 2, is getting the last spot.
So that would mean the Lions don't get in. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, or the Lions maybe get to 11-6. potentially go 4-1 over the last 5.
I don't
We didn't
think
have them doing that,
11-6. They have a tough schedule.
I know. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but like that would be the way for them to get in. But yeah,
So that would mean Dallas doesn't get in.
nope.
That would
Unless
mean-
they would come back on Philly. Like Philly nosediving and they win the division. But it's just the NFC East team. So,
And then the only other scenario that could happen is, let's say the Niners, with their tough schedule, if they only beat the Titans, lose 3 straight, the Cowboys could beat them and get it.
the Niners get to 10-7, yes.
But if the Cowboys falter at all, really, then
Mhm.
it would be a tiebreaker between the Niners and potentially the Lions.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's going to be a fun way to... It's what we've set up for is a really fun finish where it's also going to be nice that outside of the AFC North and maybe the NFC South, every team in the playoffs is going to have a good record.
Yeah, the NFC North thing is surprising, but that's mostly just because the one division is so good that, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't leave room for these other, bad wild card
The
teams.
NFC West and North are so good this year that it just is closing the door in the NFC.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I think the difference is in the NFC West, they're all good compared to the AFC North is all bad.
Yeah, that's where your team, you could have an 8-9 playoff team.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a great finish, which makes it's nice because as a fan, and this is not just talking about a guy whose team's in the hunt, it's fun because, all the games seem to matter. Like, even like, let's say the Chargers at 8-4, they're playing, I don't think they play them, but like they're playing the Titans who are 1-11. Like, but that game matters. Like, you can't stumble. So, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was a very fun episode. We kind of didn't even do a weekly recap because I feel
No.
like at this point, like most people, I kind of know what happened. The only thing I think that we mentioned at the top was there was a lot of upsets to start the week. We didn't do a recap after Thursday.
Thanksgiving feels like a year ago.
It does. The weird thing is, so Thursday and Friday, if you're off, because you're like, all right, like you're off Thursday, they might give you off Friday. So then it's like, all right, that though feels like Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, Sunday roll around, and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yep. It
Feels
feels
so
like
off.
a year. And plus,
Yeah.
as a guy like me who covers college football all the time, I've had this Lane Kiffin drama going on. I've had, rivalry week, just everything going on with that. It's been a lot of football this weekend. A lot of football.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, so Friday, the Eagles lost. I think
Yep.
the Eagles are so unbearable to watch. I hate that team. I hate watching them. And I'm really happy that I picked them.
They didn't even try to run the ball,
No, they did not.
which made no sense. The Bears had no linebackers.
I don't understand what's wrong with that team. We talked about this, I think, before we started recording, that Nick Sirianni probably would have been fired last season.
Yes. They wanted him gone.
Winning the Super Bowl. But I honestly just think the vibes are so bad. Like,
And also, Sirianni's walking a very thin tightrope right now where they're not getting rid of Kevin Patullo. And it's almost and I was thinking about this, and I have this for another segment we'll do. But like with Sirianni, what's your ceiling with a guy like him? Like, because it's almost reliant on having great coordinators. When he's had them, they've went to the Super Bowl.
Last year.
Yep.
He's on the Saints, though. That makes me feel good. But for the Eagles, anytime they don't have someone good with the X's and O's, Nick Sirianni's their culture guy who's just yelling at the fans. I don't really know what kind of culture that's setting. But
When they had Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, it was going well. The next year, they didn't have those two, and they collapsed. Last year, they got Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, and it really worked out. And this year, they have Kevin Patullo and Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio's defense has been good for the most part. Struggled against the run on Friday night, but
well,
yeah.
I think when your team is only scoring 15 points, it's kind of hard to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not
So
gonna
I'll
blame-
save some of that for a later segment, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then also, we were talking about this, like Mike Tomlin. It's just Pennsylvania coaches, I guess, just getting with that. Are the Steelers just going to keep playing the Mike Tomlin game? Which is just, you know what you're going to be every year, but you're never going to be up there.
They both need a change. Tomlin could try to actually win a Super Bowl instead of make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And Steelers can actually rebuild. Think that'd be nice for them. Other things this week, Shadur got hurt, but I think he's fine.
Yeah, he messed it. He came back in and told Dylan to get back to the bench. Yeah.
Yeah. So that there was a second where I was like, oh no, but then he was fine.
Yeah. Shadur did nothing of note today. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
They lost
Niners
26-8.
knocked the Browns, which is interesting. The Niners haven't won in Cleveland since like the 80s. So long time.
Joe Cool was still slinging it over there. So
Jacksonville destroyed Tennessee. We talked about Texans, Colts. Saints lost a close one to the Dolphins. Adam, if they did not throw a pick six on two-point conversion, If they converted, the game would have been tied, but they didn't. The Saints converted like the onside kick. They got the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't do anything with it. But if they,
Yeah.
let's say, just even kicked the field goal, got the extra point, which would have made no sense. But then they could have just kicked the field goal, whatever.
Hey, the Jets won, so great loss for New Orleans
Yes.
today. Great
I was
loss.
gonna say Jets won and Falcons lost, but the Falcons still want to win. So like it kind of just perfectly puts the Saints under both of them.
Yeah,
Um,
still behind what the Giants would still have a better pick, and the Titans.
Yes, the Giants.
Yeah. So
Those
out of
were-
those teams, only one of them's probably looking at a quarterback. So you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Mega split.
Tampa Bay, we talked about. Baker decides to play, and I think as long as the Cardinals to me are just good enough to be competitive in any game, but they're just not good enough to actually win at the end. They always get the chance and never actually convert on it.
They lose the same way every week.
They do. You know what? That's fine.
Yep.
Rams at Panthers, we talked about. Big upset there. Bryce looks decent when he's running.
Mhm.
Devontae, though, in the red zone is just horrifying.
Yep.
He's scoring a touchdown every time. Puka is going to get you to the end zone, then Devontae scores it.
Mm-hmm. Devontae's great.
I don't want to say they're the best combination, but for this season, what we've seen, they've played as the best receiver duo.
Yes.
I still think T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are probably like,
Especially be nice to see this finish with Joe Burrow back.
yes.
See how they do.
T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Puka and Devontae, though. That's like a real.
I'll tell you who else is another really good one is Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. They don't have a quarterback right now, but
You-
when
you
those
can't-
two are
You can't include them right now when they're going to
Yeah.
find 4 catches for 20 yards. But it's not
they're
their-
they're TBD right now. They're
Yeah.
sitting in the cryo chamber waiting to come back out. So
Yeah. That's a brutal situation over there.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Seattle. Minnesota got shut out today, so
Max Brosmer threw 4 interceptions as JJ was out with a concussion. So JJ's not losing his job this year. I can tell you that. Max Brosmer didn't show anything.
pick 6.
Yes, when he was
going
flung it.
down. He just whips it underhand right to Seattle.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? They're so bad.
It almost, you know what that game looked like? It looked like the Jake Browning Vikings game. Just flipped. When Browning was just throwing pick sixes left and right. That's honestly what it was.
Chargers, Vegas. What do you know? Geno Smith gets sacked 1,000 times, proving they're the worst offensive line. That's what this game was, a battle of. Real quick, I want to do a little bit on Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. We talked about the Bills just nonstop, just running it down the Steelers' throat.
Yep.
With the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers is out there in a cast. He is like every time he gets hit, he looks like he's about to fall apart. His nose is bleeding. He just looks like he is like the guy from SpongeBob in the cast, and he's like all broken everywhere. But he's still battling. I actually respected the effort, and I actually kind of do feel bad for Aaron Rodgers because I feel like he's not the problem in Pittsburgh, which is better than his situation in previous years.
Yeah, but he missed a lot of throws, and he started calling out a receiver for a throw he just completely missed. And I'm like, oh, Ebenezer Scrooge is back. Weather's getting cold. It's getting close to Christmas, and Scrooge is coming back out. So this is actually where he played really well with the Jets last year. It was towards the end of the season. So maybe he can do that again. I don't know. But now, they have a must-win game against Baltimore for both teams, so it should be fun to watch.
I just respect his competitiveness and
Oh,
going
yeah.
out there in
Well,
the
he-
cast, nose is bleeding, and he just feels like he's like, I'm going to die in that field. I just
He
want
knows
to.
he knows it's his last year. He
Yeah.
knows it's done. So
He's not going to be like, oh, I'm injured. I should just save my 47-year-old body. He's like, no, I'm going back out there because Mason's
So,
really terrible.
we haven't talked about this. Is he married? They say he is. They say he is.
I've never been interested in Rodgers' love life.
I am.
I feel like I feel like it gets a ton of attention. Not
Well, because they said he's married, but we don't even know who his wife is. So
I don't
let's
know.
just.
The last I heard, he was dating Danica Patrick. So
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, that did happen. But
yeah, I remember.
like, is this a? Not. This is bad. I shouldn't say it. Like, is this another Manti Te'o's girlfriend situation? I hope not. But like, is she
I thought
real?
you talk about what that is because I'm not a big college guy. So
Well, I'll tell you,
don't-
you're not a big college guy. Watch the Netflix documentary if you haven't. It's really good. Like, it's really good.
like the one that covers the SEC, or is there a Monte?
No, there's a Untold on his. I forget what they call it. Netflix calls their sports documentaries. It's the same ones that made like the Shooting Stars with like Gilbert
Yeah.
Arenas, like that. Yeah, they made one about Manti Te'o's girlfriend situation. Like, it's insane. It's actually really good. It's a fun watch. So, recommendation there from me. But
funny storyline right there. But yeah, let's go to our pain and panics of the week.
sweet.
Pain, Adam, you go first.
Oh, me, Ole Miss. Ole Miss. So let's go to college, Chris. This is a saga I've been following all day. I always have my X notifications on mute because I'm like, I'd get so many of them. Had to turn it off, not for this situation, but more for Penn State potentially hiring a head football coach. But Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin officially gone. He's decided to leave Ole Miss to go to LSU. This entire saga is why college football is so awesome. Just everything going on. You have Lane Kiffin. Is he going to go? Is he not going to go? He coaches the Egg Bowl. They get in fights with Mississippi State. They win the game. They ride the bus back. No one knows what's going on. He goes to the chancellor's house yesterday to talk to the athletic director. They're in there for like 3 hours. Then they come back out. No decision announced. Poor Marty Smith from ESPN was just sitting there in Oxford just waiting for a decision, and no one would tell him what's going on. He had to sit there all night last night just waiting for something to happen. So felt bad for him. Didn't get to go home. Then they wake up today. Lane Kiffin decides he's gone, but he wants to coach for their playoff. Ole Miss says, no, you're not going to be the coach of LSU, but still coach Ole Miss. So they end up promoting the defense coordinator to be the full-time head coach and Pete Golding, which is a good decision for them. Lane goes to LSU, nearly gets crusaded going into the tarmac to get on the plane. There were a bunch of fans there flipping him off, giving him the bird, all the stuff that was going on there from the Ole Miss faithful. What else happened? Then the report came out on what happened last night. Pete Golding and Lane Kiffin were both at the office, which is the Manning Center. If you don't know where, that's what Ole Miss's athletic office is named. They were there watching the Iron Bowl because if Alabama would have lost, they would have played in the SEC championship game. And Pete Golding went up to Lane Kiffin and said, why don't you take your ass home? This isn't your office anymore. So it's great. Ole Miss, I feel bad for them, not just the fans who have had to deal with all of this, but this is the best season in Ole Miss school history. And it's now been clouded. They will be having a new head coach for their playoff run coming up. So feel bad for them, feel bad for the players to have to go through all this. And hopefully they're able to make a run under Pete Golding in the playoff. But it's been crazy. It's been a crazy, fun saga, and it's been nice to watch because Penn State won't announce any coaching situation for me, so I've had to deal with this one. So
we're going to make this a short, so you're going to have to really lock in here. Ready? You ready?
For you? Yep, I'm ready.
Where do you stand in the Lane Kiffin situation? Should he be allowed to finish the season, or is it like once you announce you're leaving, you're gone? Or let him finish off the playoff race because, as you said, this is the best season Ole Miss has had in quite a long time.
Lane Kiffin should absolutely and 100% not be allowed to coach Ole Miss. They made the absolute right decision. Here's why. So I'm going to use an analogy for you, Chris. So if you and your wife are living in a house and your wife comes down and she tells you, hey, Chris, I'm leaving you in a month, but I want to stay here in the house. The new guy I'm going with who lives down the street, you know him pretty well. You don't like him. You guys aren't friends. He's also going to be around the house. He's going to be coming in. I'm also going to be looking, to buy stuff for him, make sure everything's right, get the couch right, get the new bed in, all this stuff. We're going to make sure everything's good. But I'm going to stay here for the next month because it's almost Christmas and I don't want to spend Christmas building a new house. I'll stay here with you. Would you allow that person to, stay in your house?
In that analogy, get out of my house.
Exactly. That's what Ole Miss is having to deal with. So
the counter is, what if it's like, you know what? She might have some good Christmas presents for me still. Maybe I'll let her play and we can have a good Christmas together. That's like maybe they have a good, college.
Here's the actual problem. Signing day is this week. Ole Miss needs to sign a recruiting class for LSU. If Lane Kiffin is at Ole Miss, who's signing the recruiting class for Ole Miss? Are all the kids that were committed to Ole Miss just going to go to LSU? Plus, the transfer portal opens on January 3rd, closes January 15th. Who's Ole Miss going to want to play for LSU next year? His players at Ole Miss to come with him. So he's going to be wanting those guys to go. Are you really going to let that guy sit in the office, talk to the players every day, and then basically be recruiting them to a new school while you're trying to win games? It did help. I think it would have been weird with an interim coach, but now that they just named Pete Golding the full-time head coach, definitely helps be like, this is the guy for the future, so like the guys are going to rally around that. Plus, he was already on the staff, so definitely helps. But I never really understood people saying, look, this is not Lane's complete fault. The calendar in college football is so screwed up. They got to find a way to fix that to where coaches don't have to make these decisions. But Lane shouldn't be able to play the victim card here on, I'm not allowed to coach a team that I chose to leave.
Yeah, the way he announced it, I'm like, at least he wants to finish the season, but no way you're going to.
If you wanted to finish the season, you could have stayed.
And then we saw with Penn State, Bo Prabula, not a coach, but a player, but he's going to transfer, but he's like, I want to play in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't for this team because I need to do what's right for me and go to this team that I can get started.
And the portal didn't allow it, which was sad for him.
Which is just, frustrating the circumstances, the way the calendar works. But good pain, my pain. Aaron Rodgers, physical pain. We saw him. Nose is bleeding. His wrist is in a cast, and he got destroyed by Joey Bosa. Just hurts, man. Their season's probably over. So physical pain, Aaron Rodgers.
It's fair.
Panic button. I don't know if it was last week or whatever. I picked the Lions.
Yeah.
They lose to the Packers. Their season's probably over in terms of making the playoffs. Amon-Ra St. Brown goes out. So I felt like my panic button really materialized into oh wow, I should have been panicking a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But just wanted to toot my own horn there. Adam, what's your panic this week?
Wow, you're just running it back with the Lions.
Well, I'm not picking them. I just wanted.
I didn't know.
I was right to be panicked.
Yeah, I know if you're running it back. My panic, Nick Sirianni. We mentioned this earlier about Sirianni and his, is he going to keep his job? Seemed like they were trying to get rid of him last year, but they ended up going on the run and winning the Super Bowl. He's been a really successful coach, but I think there's a ceiling on coaches that don't game plan and call plays. It's very interesting. Either you have to be a defensive mastermind or an offensive mastermind. If you're just a leader of men, I think there's a heavy ceiling on what you're able to accomplish. Yeah, like Dan Campbell, like there's a heavy, and he's calling plays now. So like that even adds that. But your Sean McVays, your Ben Johnsons, you'll always have that offensive side, which is very, very important. With Sirianni, you're really reliant on making sure you make the right coordinator hires. This is the second time now he's messed up with the offensive coordinator. He had Shane Steichen. He left. They failed with Brian Johnson. And now, they go with Kellen Moore, a lot of success, but now with Kevin Patullo, it is not working. So I'm panicking for Nick Sirianni because he's been on the hot seat before, and now it seems like he's right back on it.
I think that's fair. I like it. For me, here's my problem. I'm trying to look at panics, and I feel like we've panicked or pained every one of these teams at this point. Like, Denver, we've panicked because they look bad, but they still win. San Francisco, they have all these injuries. And we've already panicked about the Colts. I'm trying to think of what team do I have hopes for that I should be panicking about, but I don't know. I don't.
Do you want me to give you one that you could panic about just for the heck of it, just to give you some love?
I was
trying
to
panic
a week. I couldn't find one.
Do you want to panic about the Rams? Do you want to?
No, because I still think they're going to be perfectly fine.
What about the Seahawks or Niners? I know they won today, so it'd be a weird time to do it, but
I'll say the Seahawks. I'll say this. We saw another year of Sam Darnold, and it looks like he has the same kryptonite. That's a problem. I know they destroyed the Vikings today, but whenever there's any pressure on him, and the Vikings know they can get pressure, and they know that he's bad at it, it looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem when you actually want to win a Super Bowl, that there's a clear way to stop your quarterback.
Yep.
That's it. But, I just feel like most of the other teams, even if they're really good and they lose, like the Eagles, I think Sirianni's a good one, but I'm not, panicking about the Eagles, because we've already panicked about the Eagles. But the only other one I could say, I think I did this team last week, the Ravens, or maybe the Lions was 2 weeks ago or whatever, but the Ravens, now that they actually lost, because I know they won, 4 straight, but Lamar didn't look good. If Lamar's actually messed up, your season's kind of done.
Yeah, you also panic about the Chiefs, I guess. Thursday games feel so long ago.
Yeah, but when we looked at their schedule, it actually made me feel better about half these teams because I feel like I know which teams are going to make the playoffs. The only one I'd actually be concerned about was the Niners, who won this week. But looking at their schedule, I'm like,
yeah,
we have to win, 2 games. They should have an easy matchup next week, but after that, it's going to be a battle.
The nice thing is they're going into a bye, so that's big for them. Yeah, they're getting their bye. The Patriots are getting a bye here coming up. Last bye is coming through. Panthers on bye. How about that? The Meow Mix podcast will have a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'll give an extra panic. My fantasy football team, not in our league, Adam. This is a different league.
Yeah.
Okay. I had, injury luck at the team. My receivers this year, Amon-Ra St. Brown, out at least 2 weeks, it looks like. Drake London might not come back this year. Mike Evans has been gone the whole year. Ibuka has been getting worse and worse each week. I really, now my best receiver is Christian Watson and Ibuka. That's it's not a championship caliber team. So I'm a little worried. But,
there's concern.
Lamar, and I traded away Drake May as the backup because I was like, Lamar already had his bye. I'll be fine. Then he gets me 4 points a week.
Yeah. I guess I can add a panic too. Our group chat talking about the NBA Cup today. It's 2 weeks away, boys. Calm down.
I love basketball. It just doesn't have a very engaging season to where
it's not an engaging product. It's not an engaging product to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Season's too long. Games don't matter as much.
If it's not an engaging product to the playoffs, you should get to the playoffs sooner. But the league is refusing to even like really consider shortening it even by 10 games. I feel like that would help.
I know, but they won't do it. So 'cause
Or
they keep
if
selling tickets. So.
But I think even if they shorten the season, maybe they would keep the season the same length, but more rest days. But like make the games more sparse. But I don't know, man. Just I want to watch basketball, but there's no urgency to watch it when there's football games on.
No, nope, completely agree. All right, hey, get
Well,
out
it's
of here,
a highlight
Chris.
sport, as Adam Silver says. So
Yeah, it's a highlight sport. Don't have to watch them.
like no one wants. Bill Simmons said this. If no one's saying there should be more NBA games, that's they should just shorten it because there is no like contrary like vision of more games. You only want shorter or the same. Just go shorter, man. Please.
Yeah,
Please.
couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Never happened, but couldn't agree more.
Go to 70. I'd be fine with 70.
Yeah.
65,
60. If they're saying that the players have to play 65 games, just go to 65 games. Is it that hard? Like you're basically saying this is how many games they should be playing, so that's how you should play.
These players are hurt now. It's just like they're all just trying to save themselves for the end of the year,
Yeah.
anyways. And then the only interesting thing is OKC might get the best record.
Yeah, and like the other thing is like 20 of the 30 teams get a shot at the playoffs. So like with the plan, so like it's also like just get in and have a chance.
There's no real like sense of will this team make the playoffs? Like I'm not worried about it because in football, I feel like even the worst seeds have a real legitimate chance to win just because it's any given Sunday one matchup. I feel like almost every year the Heat, I think, were a 2. No, they fell to the 8 seed, but they were the 2 seed. The Heat are like the only 8 seed to make the finals or something, right?
Yeah, the Knicks did in '99 in the lockout season, but yeah, the Heat are the only ones recently.
Yeah, so in this century, only one 8 seed has ever. So it's not like there's a real like, oh, well, let's see make the playoffs because even if they barely make it, they're usually eliminated in the first round.
Yeah. Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Well, Adam, I'll let you go take care of your crying dog.
Yeah, she's ready to go out. She's sitting next to me. So
Well, I hope everyone appreciated this episode. A little bit different from our normal routine of recaps.
I do have something to say.
Tell me,
just be on the lookout. We probably will have a quick emergency episode coming up when Penn State inevitably announces that they have a new head coach. We'll do a quick episode acknowledging that. But just
Adam's
thought I'd
do a great one episode by himself or with someone else from Penn State.
No, it'll be by myself. It'd be like 15 minutes. But I was expecting to do it today, but maybe they'll never announce a coach. Maybe I'll be the next coach by the end of all this. I don't know.
We'll see. The players seem to want Terry Smith. We talked about that last episode.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I don't think it'll happen. But if that's the choice, Pat Kraft's gonna have a lot of tough questions to answer for it being this long to just keep the guy who's already here. So yeah. But now that be on the lookout for that sometime this week. So
well, hopefully that happens, Adam. I'll let you have fun with that one.
Yeah.
Stay tuned or follow our social medias, Pain and Panic Podcast on Instagram, on TikTok, on our YouTube where you find the podcast or Spotify. And Adam, anything else?
Nope. All good, buddy.
Well, does Penn State have to make a decision this week?
Well, signing day's on Wednesday, so they probably should. They don't have to, but they should.
So stay on the lookout for Adam's Emergency Podcast. Otherwise, we'll see you Thursday night after Thursday Night Football. Thank you all for listening. See you next time.